Hey, what's going on? This is Sports Truth, and I'm your favorite host in the entire world, Jordan Harris. So, we got some things to talk about today. As you know, the transfer portal for this season just opened today. I've got a question that I need y'all to answer. All right, so the question is if Cormani McClain entered the transfer portal from Colorado Buffaloes, would you want him? The reason why I asked that is because, one, he did just jump into the transfer portal. But two is because I want to do a quick recap of this whole Cormani McClain thing just to refresh everybody's mind on what that whole thing looked like. All right, so first I want to read a portion of an article from On 3. It says Colorado freshman cornerback and former five-star prospect Cormani McClain plans to enter the transfer portal. He can immediately play. It has 3 years of eligibility remaining. The number 13 overall recruit in the 2023 class, McClain committed to Miami before flipping to the Buffaloes in January of 2023. One of Deion Sanders' biggest recruiting wins, the number one cornerback played in 9 games and started just 4 as a true freshman this past fall. He tallied 13 total tackles and 2 pass breakups. And then they have some quotes on here. A quote from Deion Sanders is study and prepare. So that's the quote that they have from Sanders, and he actually answered that when they asked what Cormani McClain needs to improve to be able to see more playing time, because the first few games he just wasn't playing at all. Coach's decision. Then Deion went on to say, be on time for meetings, show up to meetings, understand the scheme. I check film time from every player so I can see who's preparing. So if I don't see that, you'll be a fool to put somebody out there who's not prepared. That goes for all players. So that's that. So let's jump into a little bit of history. Jump into the history class real quick, and talk about this whole Cormani McClain situation that unfolded last year. So Cormani was a huge, like, everybody in the country wanted Cormani because he was the number one cornerback, as it said in the article. He committed to Miami, so that was a big deal. Committed to Miami. He's from Lakeland High School. In Florida, so it's a big deal getting him to stay home. Of course, whenever you have a school like Miami, you have a school like Georgia, whatever it is, you want to keep all the talent that you have in your state to come play for your school. So to land him was a big deal. All of a sudden, we started hearing rumblings about him potentially going to play at Colorado for Deion Sanders. Started hearing that. All of a sudden, people start asking him questions at like the All-Star games and stuff. They're like, hey, I'm hearing rumblings that you might be decommitting from the Hurricanes. Are you going to do that? And he's like, no, I'm going to be a Hurricane. I'm going to be a Hurricane. So then another All-Star game comes up, and another person asks him, are you going to sign with the Hurricanes? Because I'm hearing you might be going to Colorado. He's like, no, I'm not going to Colorado. I'm going to be a Hurricane. They're up to you. And we were like, all right, cool. So then there's reports that come out that Cormani is in Colorado doing a visit. And people were like, what? So that was weird. And then I think if you're like me, we all started to wonder, like, is this fool really about to switch up on us and go to Colorado? Because out of nowhere, we started seeing videos and pictures of him in Colorado gear. I'm trying to find a picture of some of that stuff that popped up online. Yeah, here's a picture, so I'll put this on the screen. But we just started seeing stuff online of him with Deion Sanders. Even though he was claiming he didn't have a visit coming up, he claimed that he was, signing with the Hurricanes. And there's the picture right over there. And before you know it, he announced that he was committing to Colorado. And that's where he ended up playing, right? So my question to you all would be, if you were the coach, let's say you were Cristobal, right? And Cormani McClain reached out and said he would like to come visit the Hurricanes and he would like to play for the Hurricanes this coming year, would you actually open the door to him, or would you say, sorry, son, you missed the opportunity. We're not going to have that this time? What would you do? I'll tell you what I would do. I'm real big on honesty, real big on loyalty. I'm real big on if you say you're going to do something, you got to do it. And if you burn me one time, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to burn me again. I don't care how good of a player you are. I don't care how bad of a player you are. It does not matter to me. If you show me some sort of I mean, these kids are young, right? We got to give them that. But if you show me some sort of disloyalty, we got to cut it off right then and there. So if he approached me wanting to come play for the Hurricanes, I would give him a solid no. Like, I appreciate you wanting to come back and make things right, but nah, we can't have it, man. I don't think the players in the locker room would adjust to that very well. I don't think they'd be too happy to see you back here after you stood him up the way you did. I would be done with Cormani McClain for good. He wouldn't play for me. Couldn't play for me. So we'll see. I'm sure that he's going to look at schools like Georgia. He's going to look at schools like Alabama, some of the big schools. Because like I said, he was the number one cornerback coming out of high school, last year. So he'll probably have his choice. He can pick whatever school he wants to. But I'm quite certain he's going to try to come and talk to the Hurricanes and see if there's any interest there. I would tell him, thank you, but no thank you. I do want to talk a little bit about what I saw from him this past season. So he is a freshman playing against Division I players, right? Like he's at a huge disadvantage. But whenever you see Deion Sanders saying that he's not studying, he's not taking this seriously, he's not coming to the meetings on time, what I saw in those games, like, it proved that to me. There was some times where it was obvious. I'm a novice at home watching football games. And if you remember, Colorado was on TV like every week for the first few weeks after they won that first game. So once I saw Cormani get in the game, I'm a novice at home watching this, and it was obvious that they were in a zone defense. And I saw him go from the far right side of the field all the way to the left side, following a man in the shallow. So I was like, he's not even in the right defense. And then I saw the next play, he was they were in a man across the front. He's supposed to be doing a bump and run on the receiver. And he didn't even get a hand on the receiver. Receiver crossed his face, ran a shallow 5-yard route, caught the pass, ended up taking it like 25 yards up the field. Immediately after that, Deion Sanders took him out the game. So I'm like, oh, this dude's head is not in it. There's one thing to be underdeveloped physically because you're a freshman playing against college players. I guess you should say experienced college players. But when your head is not into it, and then your coach is telling the media that you're not focused in meetings and you're showing up late to meetings, it's all a bad look. He's just not somebody. He's just shown me from afar that he doesn't have the character that I would want on my football team. So that's what I got for you today. Please do like the excuse me, battling the cold right now, trying to get over it. But please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate that. Take care. God bless. Peace.